Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I am so excited that you're here to catch the weekly replay of my laid-back yet very inspiring conversations with other full-time professional artists. The purpose of this series is to show aspiring artists that it is completely possible to have a great career in the arts. And if you ever want to tune in and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just check out the schedule over at facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you there. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time six-figure art business. With weekly trainings that include step-by-step proven art business techniques, plus painting tutorials from yours truly and other guest artists who are masters in their field, you will be well equipped to learn and grow into the highly skilled and highly profitable artist you know you're meant to be. I've figured out what it takes to build my own six-figure art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. It's not hard, but it does require your time and dedication. So if you're up for the challenge, go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. Welcome to another episode of the Student Spotlight series, where every Monday I interview my amazing Artist Academy Advanced students to get to know them better, give them direct advice on their art business, and so I can get feedback on how to be a better teacher. This week I'm interviewing two artists, Jeni Dolde and Christy Perez. And you know, interviewing these past couple weeks has got me thinking. Some people, like Megan in last week's episode, joined the group mainly for the community and the camaraderie, while others, like Jeni, joined for the tutorials and the templates. And I love hearing that all aspects of the group are being utilized because I work really hard on those tutorials, so it's just nice to know that they are being used. So I was really glad to chat with Jeni today. And one quick thought too, in my mind, I kind of categorize every member in the Artist Academy into two general types. You're either the silent go-getter, or you're the group cheerleader, or the group inspirer, is what I kind of like to say. Some are both, some are a mix of these, but some people don't really comment on a lot in the group. They don't really post a lot. They're really busy outside of it. They don't really care for the social interaction. They just take the information and they run with it in their own business. Then others still use the templates and stuff, and they participate in the challenges and all of that. But a big part of growing their art business is getting and giving feedback to and from other members in the group. They cheer them on when they're doing well, and they hype people up when someone's struggling. No matter what your role, it's so cool to see how the group is turning into this really positive place where artists can go, and no matter where you're at in this art journey or what your style is, you can come in and you can kind of get a nudge in the right direction, mentally or physically, with a step-by-step lesson or just like a pat on the back. I think the analytical artists listening to this will be able to relate to Jeni in this first interview. So let's just get to it. Okay, so can you start off by just kind of introducing yourself to anybody who's listening on the podcast who doesn't know who you are, maybe how you got into the art world, where you're located, and all that stuff?
Okay, I'm Jeni Dolde. I got into the Artist Academy after I saw your, I guess I know it was your live with the turquoise iris. Okay. I saw you there. I started painting about 20 years ago. I did it as more of a therapy because I had some health issues, and I started watching Donna Dewberry on like PBS on the one stroke painting. And then I started doing lots of craft fairs, and at that time there was like those, remember those borders that people would put on their wall. I don't know, you're probably too young. But I would customize candles. I was known down in Poplar Bluff, in Missouri, as the candle lady because I would customize candles for people to match their borders. And that just grew into other, like, painting on bottles and glasses, and then I started doing craft fairs. And then an interior decorator saw my work and asked if I would paint a mural in a new home that was going up. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And it was a Pottery Barn themed little girls' room, and it just took from there. I'm in Troy, Missouri, which is about an hour northwest of St. Louis. Okay. And so just been.
Yeah. So how long ago was your first mural?
Probably about 15, 16 years ago.
Oh, wow. So you've been in this a while. Okay.
I have. I've done 2 different movie theaters. I've done several different commercial properties, salons, and like a little girls' children's clothing store. And I did all that prior to like 2008 when everything kind of crashed and nobody was spending money on any of that. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So, do you do furniture art as well? Because the turquoise iris is mostly that.
Yeah, I do. That's when I decided to get back into painting last year, I figured I would go ahead and do furniture art, and that's when I joined her group. And but I haven't done much of that. It's just kind of pivoted into painting on canvases and windows. Oh my gosh, the windows are insane. The amount I had somebody tag me on Facebook. Somebody was wanting a sunflower on a window, and one of my friends here where I live was like, oh, well, she can do it. And so I did. And then once it was posted, I put it on a Facebook page, and it exploded.
Yeah, you went viral, which is what everybody tries to do, and it was on accident.
It was totally on accident, and I was totally panicked. I had, like, at that time, everything I did was just locally. I didn't even have a PayPal set up. There was nothing like that. And so, we went and bought, I don't know, like 50 windows. So I had them on stock and set up my PayPal account. And then I had to figure out, okay, if I'm going to do these windows, how am I going to ship them? So it was trying to figure how to wrap them so they don't break in transit. And so far, I've done lots of windows and none of them are broken. So I've got that figured out.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you painted a sunflower window basically, and you posted it on Facebook. And then how many orders do you think you've gotten of that?
I've gotten about 15.
Okay. Do they want the exact one, or they want something?
Yeah. Yes, they want that sunflower. They want that sunflower. And I've done other orders. Like, I've got a commission right now that is a cow with flower wreath on its head. And when I do it, I do it all in reverse. So painting on the back of the window to get the image is not that easy.
Yeah, talk about that for a second, because I'm sure people, like, they're envisioning a sunflower on a window, right? And you're painting it backwards. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that? How do you start out with that?
First, I create a template to match the size of the window, and I draw out what I want it to look like to match the window. And then I'll take a dry erase marker and draw on the front side of the window to give me a guideline. And then I, like with sunflowers, you got the little dots in the center of the sunflower. I start with the highlights. In the center.
My brain hurts.
It is mind-boggling. So I do everything in reverse because I'm used to painting in acrylics. So it was hard to figure out how to do it in reverse. So I start in the center and then work out.
Okay, and so do you use acrylics on windows?
No, I use a paint that's specifically designed for, like, painting on, like, glassware. You know how people paint on glasses?
Yeah.
I use that, and then it cures, so it's not gonna just come off.
Okay, great. So do you have to like do the dots and then wait for that to dry and then do more?
Yeah, yes, yes. A
Okay.
hair dryer. It's hair dryer is very
Oh,
handy.
oh, that's a really good tip, a hair dryer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So why did you join the Artist Academy group? What were you hoping to get from it and what have you gotten from it? What do you like about it? Tell me all the things. And then we'll go into what we can do better too.
Oh gosh, there's so much I could do better. But when I had my business in the past, I pretty much just focused on creating, and my ex-husband
Oh,
would do the marketing and getting it out because this was pre social media, when I would did all the work, and I was never good at the business end of things, and so I decided to get back into starting my business last summer after, I had health issues, whatever. And, but I wanted to do it a real business. I wanted to follow and do what I was supposed to do to make it a real business. And that's when I was following Jennifer Allwood all the time and and listening to her, and then the turquoise iris, and then I found you, and you really resonated with me because you do the things that I've, as far as your painting, the stuff I've done in the past, but you've completely excelled on the business aspect of thing, and you really get it. And I enjoy learning all the things from you as far as the business thing because I'm clueless.
oh, awesome. Well, I'm glad you resonate with what I'm doing and my style of teaching too. Because some people are like, I'm always like, let's do this and let's do that. Like, I'm going to do this. And the people are like, whoa. Some people are like, whoa. Like, I just need someone a little less excited. But some people really like the excitement and the inspiration kind of a thing too.
Oh, I do.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, awesome. So being inside the Artist Academy, are you more in there for like the templates of how to do it and like the step by steps, or is it the community aspect, or what do you want to see more of?
I like the templates and the step by step.
Okay.
I'm a complete introvert. Like, is trying to do lives and like this right now is a big deal.
You're
It's
doing
a big
great.
deal. Um, and so communicate. I see everybody communicating together in the group and offering advice, and I really struggle with that aspect of things. Just putting myself out there, and I always have. Like, but as far as the templates and the step by steps, I really love, and the challenges.
Okay.
The challenges. I love your challenges. Otherwise, because I never would have even probably started watercolor if it hadn't have been for your challenges in January.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Never in a million years. And I've gotten so many commissions off of my watercolor herbs just from your challenge in January. Never would have happened.
That is amazing. I love hearing that. So we're gonna do that January challenge every year. Now you've solidified it. Okay, awesome. So maybe more challenges and more templates is what you're wanting. So like
Yeah.
what's like a template or a lesson that would benefit you that maybe something we've either was something we've already done that we could go into deeper or something that we haven't done yet.
Well, I liked the idea that you had talked before about creating a something for the street art, how you do that.
Oh,
I live in a
okay.
really small town and we don't have anything like that here.
That's
And
perfect.
I'd love to do that.
Okay.
That's up my alley. I've had somebody reach out to me to do some murals in a town north of me. It just seems a little too overwhelming because it's like the whole downtown. So that's a little too much that I can do. But I think more along the lines of the little street art and Instagram posts and what you do. I'm intrigued by like when I go to a zoo or like the Wonders of Wildlife and all the artwork that everybody does there. I don't pay attention to the animals or the dioramas. I look at all the backgrounds.
Me too.
And I just can't get enough. That's all I do is take pictures of that and just figuring out. Last summer I had to I painted a 40-foot long shipping container. and it was of autumn in the Ozarks. So there was lots of trees, and when I got down there, he wanted to add mountains. And the whole concept of blocking in color and doing it in sections is just completely foreign to me. And so something like that would really be helpful. It's
Okay.
just instruction, blocking in the colors and do it in sections rather than layers. Just yeah.
Okay. Have you watched the mural video that I did in the Lord of the Rings nursery? Was that
Oh
helpful?
yes,
Okay.
yes, it was really helpful.
Okay. And you
And I
were
started because I've started on a mural in my daughter's room, and
okay.
I've been doing that.
Okay, awesome. So how would you I'm totally open to anything you want. So how would you like it different from that? Maybe just more instruction on painting?
Yeah, I guess because I find myself doing too much detail.
Ah.
It's
So
not necessary.
no, it's funny because that's how I was in the beginning too. I would want to focus on like every little leaf and like, cause like I don't want to leave it all weird. But then and now I've done it so much that I'm like now I have trouble like doing the detail. Now I'm like this looks fine from far away, da 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 da, and now it goes, and then I have to force myself to go do the detail. So there's like a switch you like kind of make as you go along.
Right. Right. I did some evergreens on my daughter's mural, and I did do your technique as you start with the deeper color, the darker color, and then you just layer on the medium and then the highlights, and it was perfect. I was like, okay, I think I can figure it out. But I struggle with when I have such a large mural putting too much detail, and it's just going to be covered up and it's time wasted.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes, like, yeah, because it's with a mural too, it's all about how it looks like several feet away, typically. For a
Hmm.
bedroom mural, that's kind of different because you can kind of get really close to it. But yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah, so just more instruction on how to, like, we could even maybe do some kind of, I don't know, group thing on like, putting it on there and then leaving it alone and then like moving it on and putting
Oh,
it on there and leaving it alone.
right.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's see. Do you have any general questions for me? Is there anything specifically you want to talk about or?
Well, I know everybody does Facebook Lives,
Mhm.
and I've done it a few times, but I just struggle with what to actually do in them because when I paint, I can't talk and paint at the same time. So I don't understand how I'm supposed to like tackle that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So when I do go do a Facebook Live, I make sure that I'm doing something that's so easy, like blocking in something because I'm like you too. Like if it's like a really detailed spot, I can't talk and paint. Like I'm like, or I'll do it and then I'll talk about it, or then I'll do it and then I'll talk about it, or something like that with like instruction. But yeah, I just make sure that like I know what I'm doing. It's really easy. That way I don't have to think about what I'm doing as much. And then I just talk about things. Usually I'll be like, this is why I'm painting this. And I don't do a ton. I know actually now thinking about this, I haven't done hardly any lives lately. That's not just like one-on-one talking like this. I haven't really done a lot that's while I'm painting like the turquoise iris does. She does them all the time. And I'm like, girl, you
I know.
inspire me to do those. And
Right.
yeah, and just kind of, maybe you could just kind of look at hers too and see what she's talking about. But usually when I do it, I'm like telling a story. This is why I'm painting this. This is what made me think of it. This is how I've spent an hour on it so far. I think I have 5 hours to go. This is where it's going. This is what I don't like about it. This is what I like about it. Like if I'm painting an animal, I'll talk about painting fur and how you have to paint layers and how, fur is really tedious and this is the brush I'm using and just kind of like,
I
anyway.
just because is that what people are interested in, even though they're not artists? Because I'm coming at it as an artist. So when I look at things, I just want to watch the process, but I don't know what everybody else is like.
Yeah, I would
If they,
do whatever you like because to me, I like like I say what I like, so to you, and you're going to attract people who like your art, who are more like you. And that's what I found too, because like the turquoise iris attracts people who are like her, and I attract people who are like me, and you'll attract people who are like you. So do whatever you like to see. Like even with teaching you guys in instruction videos, I like it to happen really fast. I don't like to like dabble and do this. Like even when I edit, I'm like, okay, what's the thing that they need to know the most? Like, and then I'm gonna fast forward through everything else because I have a really short attention span, and so that's how I teach. And so for you, like if you like to just watch and you don't even care if they're talking, just do your thing, or if you're like, I wish they would explain that a little bit more, and if you're doing that, maybe explain it a little bit more, because people who aren't artists, they more so like to see things come together quicker, or or to me they do, I guess, but they like to ask you questions, and if they have a question, they want to know something, they'll ask it, but they are also curious, most people, about how you're doing that, because they have no idea how to paint. So they're like, why is she using that brush? Like, why is she using that color? They don't understand the blocking in part. They don't understand layers. So you saying, hey, I'm adding this layer, and then I'm going to be adding white on top of it, they're going to be like, whoa, mind blown, because they had no idea that you did layers. They just thought you put it on there, and that's how it is. Or you could talk about brush strokes, like, hey, I'm doing fur, like, because I refer to animals quite a bit. Hey, I'm doing fur in this direction, because this is how the animal fur lays. And they're like, oh, that makes sense. Like, they have no idea. But it's funny, too, because whenever you're doing a live, sometimes we do things and we don't even know why we do them, we're right. Like, we just paint, and it's really kind of hard to talk about like, oh, I'm doing this because of this, because we don't even do that. But I wouldn't feel pressure to talk. Sometimes people just want to like see what you're doing, and they'll stay for, I don't know, even 30 seconds or a minute. Yeah. And then they'll leave and they'll be like, oh, that was cool. But they'll remember that. Or they'll stay.
So that's
and
okay,
watch you.
not to be talking the whole time.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a really
that
good
makes
thing.
me feel better.
Yeah, and do whatever you're comfortable with too, because a lot of people, if they're not big talkers, it's like forced, and you can tell it's kind of forced. And so sometimes it takes like someone getting on and asking a question for me to be like, oh yeah, okay, and then I'll talk a little bit, and then I won't talk for a while, and then I'll just concentrate, and I'll be like, hold on, I gotta concentrate on this or something, and then I'll concentrate, and then I'll be like, so I don't know. You could tell stories, also ask questions. So Instagram, oh, it kind of froze. Oh, there we go. Now it's unfroze. Okay. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, great. It was just like a little bit off. So for Instagram Live, I can get people to interact a lot more. On Facebook, like I have kind of a following on Facebook, not really compared to Instagram or TikTok, but I cannot get people to interact in Facebook, like hardly at all.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Like, I don't know why. So for me, Instagram is a bit better, but just kind of see what your platform is. And actually, for me, TikTok is even better because the kids on there are like, what are you doing? And so that kind of works out too. I need to go live more.
Yeah, I love your TikTok videos.
Thanks. Okay, I hope that jumble of an answer kind of answered your
It did
on live. Okay, awesome.
It'll make me feel better if I'm just sitting there painting and not talking.
Yeah, so one person you could watch too, Mary Evelyn Studio. Do you know her? She's in Branson.
No.
Yeah, she was on the podcast a long time ago, like last year. And so Mary Evelyn Studio. I'll send you her her ad on Instagram, and she goes live quite a bit, and she's not in the live. She just puts her camera down on her little piece of paper and stuff, and so she's not in it. She can just see her art, so there's no pressure for her to like get made up or look a certain way or anything. And she'll go live on Instagram all the time, and she doesn't even really talk that much, like hardly at all.
Okay.
And it's just like, it's just her painting, and people will just tune in and be like, oh, that's what she's doing. Okay, cool. And then leave or stay and ask a question or something. But there's just no pressure that way. So start like that, because a lot of people, when I'm like, hey, you need to go live or you need to do a time lapse, they're like, nope, I don't want to be in it. I'm like, you don't have to. Just even for a time lapse, like set it up to where you cannot see yourself and just paint.
Right. Yeah, I did my first tutorial, and I did the sunflower window on a tutorial when I was painting my front door. And I was really proud, it was my first time editing it all together and got it uploaded. So I'm trying.
Awesome. Yeah, the first one is always the most awkward one, and it's always just like the most pressure and stuff. I remember my first video. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. I was like, nope, I'm not talking. I just did like little actions of like, this is what I do. And then I like wrote captions at the bottom. It was like, nope, not talking.
Well, I did mine and I completely forgot to tell what kind of paint I used.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of important. So I had to go in and film something afterwards and forgot like, well, the brushes are important because you need to use softer brush. It was just stuff I forgot.
Yeah, and it's just learning, and your videos 5 years from now are going to be like banging, and you're going to be like, oh, now I know how to do it, of course. But yeah, the first ones are always the roughest, but I think your video turned out great. It was like 5 minutes long or something like that, or it was
I think,
minutes.
Right around there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was, because there was a lot of explaining. There was a lot of, because people get confused on how to paint in reverse, so
yeah,
I was trying to explain it the best I could.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. The more, the better for people, because that's a very different technique. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Is there any other questions? Do you have anything you want to talk about?
I'd like to learn how to do the blocking in thing, but I do enjoy your templates. That kind of thing. And the challenges. Keep the challenges up.
Okay, great. Awesome. And then,
because I never would have, like, I've started painting my daughter in acrylics. I've not ever done portraits, and I've wanted to do portraits for so long. And it's like, okay, this is the challenge. I'm going to get this done, and I'm going to have it look like her. And I wouldn't have done it without your challenge.
Oh, I love that. Okay, awesome. And then let's do a street art one. Yeah, anyway. Right. So definitely looking forward to that. We'll get that street art thing going, and probably actually before we all meet up, and that way, or what if we could do it for like the 2 to 3 weeks prior to meeting up, and then that be like our grand finale of like street art.
I'm good with that.
Okay, awesome.
I'm good with that.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome. Well, it's so great getting to meet you, and I'm so excited to meet you in person next month in Iowa. So yeah, awesome. Well, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for starting out your Monday with me.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Next up is Christy, who has a very interesting story of how she was introduced to me, and it's in one of my favorite contexts. But I'm going to let her tell you all about it. But on that note, if any of you listening have a funny or inspiring story about how you found out about me or the podcast and you'd like to let me in on it, please just email or direct message me. I would love to know, and I will likely share that knowledge on my social media. I think it's so cool what the internet can do when it works in terms of bringing people together and uncovering new information. And speaking of bringing people together, as you have probably heard in that interview, we are doing our first ever Artist Academy mural meetup on July 11th. So if you would like more information on that, just message me and I will fill you in. Artists will be coming together to create the most Instagrammable spot in the Midwest next month. It will be a fun-filled learning experience for anyone who wants to get into painting murals. I'm going to be teaching and doing all the fun things. It's going to be great. And if that's you, if you want to learn how to paint murals and you want to get more experience under your belt, learn how to take photos and just all the things that comes with being an Instagram artist and a muralist, hopefully you'll also get to meet Jeni and Christy there. But if that's you, just message me and I will fill you all in. But let's get into Christy's interview so you can get to know her a little bit better when we see you, or to prepare for whenever we see you next month at the mural meetup. So, can you start off by just kind of telling a little bit about yourself for anybody who doesn't know, and also just kind of work in that little story? I love how you found out about me. So, just kind of
Oh,
all the things.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I've loved art for my whole life. Probably about 5 years ago, I noticed that there was this kind of revival of calligraphy and people's interest in it. And I had learned calligraphy as a kid, and so I was super excited and just started having fun with that. And I developed my own curriculum to teach calligraphy, and I started doing calligraphy classes. I would like go to people's houses, and they would host them, and it was a ton of fun. And then over time, I just realized like I wanted to lean more into some of the artistic side and be able to do both. And some friends gave me opportunities to paint large scale stuff in our church kids building. And so I did this life-size surfer car and just some other big animals and things, and had fun with that. And so a friend of mine who's also an artist, said, "Hey, I want to go down to Costa Rica and do a couple murals." And so I said, "Sure, let's go." I was so excited. I've been to Costa Rica. I love it there.
My kind of girl.
But I haven't been. Yeah, I love traveling. Like I've been to a lot of Central and South America and a few other parts of the world. And I just love seeing other cultures and tasting different foods and meeting people. I love just knowing people. So we're on the plane and we're talking about what we want to do together. We had one we were going to do together and then a couple we were going to do individually. And so she just pulls up her phone and her Instagram feed and she's like, "You got to see Andrea Earhart. She does these beautiful butterfly wings." And so we ended up doing a butterfly while we were there together. We kind of pieced that together and had a ton of fun with that. And then I just was following ever since then. And I've been just was super excited when I saw that you were doing the Artist Academy, because I thought, what a great opportunity for me to kind of boost myself out there and grow an art business. And it came at the perfect time. I had a friend contact me out of the blue that wanted me to come do these door distraction murals. So these are used for like assisted living centers where they have Alzheimer's and dementia patients that will accidentally go out the emergency exit doors. And they wanted a way to kind of hide the door. And so they paint things over the door. And so, but I didn't have a contract. I didn't know, I'd never done anything like that, like officially. It was my first time. And it came literally right as I was joining the Artist Academy, and I got the contract from your group. And it just gave me so much more confidence. It helped me know how to price things. And I ended up doing 3 murals for them, which was just incredible. And it was so much fun. Anyways, that's kind of my story.
Oh my gosh.
Where I started.
I love that. Okay, so let's back it up. So I get this question a lot, and I wonder how other people do it too, for just painting things in other countries. Did you just go down there and you were just kind of walked up to businesses, or did you, contact people ahead of time? How did that work in Costa Rica?
Yeah, we had a connection through some friends that were there, actually.
Perfect.
So we had friends that were down there working in like a pregnancy center, and they wanted just some things for the ladies that were coming there to receive help, to have like a beautiful place for them to come to. And so we ended up muraling like giant flowers all over the walls and the butterflies at the front, and it just says hope in Spanish. So I calligraphied, the word hope like really big in Spanish, and just to give them some encouragement. So yeah, it was through a connection that we already had for that one.
That's amazing. And like, as you were saying that you do calligraphy, I'm like, we need to get this girl to teach some classes inside the Artist Academy.
For sure. I actually developed a curriculum for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I have my own like book that I made to teach it.
Oh my gosh. So I was thinking about starting this this little like series of stuff from like students, contributing things. And then in turn, I give you free access for so many months, like 6 months or a year or something like that. Because I know that all of you guys, you have all of these special little talents like that. Like, and calligraphy is as you know, it's a whole nother side of the brain. And so I would love if we could integrate some of your stuff in the Artist Academy. And in turn, I'll give you, free access for 6 months or a year or something. I don't know. I need to work out the paperwork, really.
Absolutely.
But yes. Okay, amazing.
Yeah, here's something that I made a while back just with chalk. Like I did a lot of work with chalk for a while. So that one just says love never fails. But
oh my gosh. Yes.
Anyway, so I love it. I love doing all kinds of lettering. So I can teach more than just calligraphy, but how to kind of space your lettering within the piece that you're working on and everything too.
Yes. Okay. Amazing. I love that. I love that chalk everything. We're going to start this.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, yeah, so you joined the art. I think it's funny how the world works like that too. So you joined the Artist Academy and then you got a mural and you're like, well, perfect timing. And that was such a fun thing to watch too. Cause that was like, I remember I showed my husband cause he insures a lot of nursing homes and stuff like that.
Nice.
So he was like, oh, that'd be perfect. I'm like, I know.
So cool.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and they work too. They told me that since they've been painted, that no one has tried to exit those doors anymore.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any subjects that you would like to talk about before we dive into anything else?
Gosh, I'm sure I would have a million questions if I would have written them all down. For me, the biggest challenge, I think, has just been time, like the amount of time that I have to give. So I guess the question for you is, when you started your business, did you jump right into like, I'm going to be an artist, or did you kind of work into that over time while you were still doing something else?
Yeah, so I definitely worked into it over time, and that's what I highly suggest anybody to do because, with art, it's such a building process, as you know. Like, it's like you'll get a couple clients, and then it'll just kind of slowly go up from there, and then you'll hit a point to where you're super busy, and you just never know when that point is gonna hit. And it's such a weird balance, too, because, like, you're half focused in your job, and then is there someone in the background doing something?
There is. I'm sorry. I have earbuds in, but can you hear it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like just because it'll come off on the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. He's gonna quiet down.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So, and it's funny because like it's just I think everybody kind of hits this like point where you're like, okay, now is the time, and it's hard to know when that is because you're just kind of balancing. But yeah, I definitely eased into it. But it was so funny though, because like right when I started to post what I was doing, I just started getting more and more and more jobs. So when like I always tell people, post about it as much as possible on Facebook in groups and all of that stuff, and then eventually you'll just hit this point where it's like, well, I don't have that time for anything else but art right now.
Right. Yes.
So where are you at right now? Where are you doing like what are you doing every week?
Okay. Like along with art or just in art?
Just anything. Like what's your weekly schedule like? I know that right now is maybe a little crazy, but like what's your like what is it?
Sure. So I homeschool my kids, but beyond homeschooling, I actually have started an academy. So we run it kind of like a college schedule. So where middle and high school students come into class 2 days a week, and then they're home a couple days a week doing work, so that they can get in and get excellent teachers for their classes and stuff. So I teach a bunch of those classes. So like Mondays and Thursdays, my days are full of teaching a bunch of different things. I teach logic, and I teach something called mock trial, where I take the students through becoming like an attorney, and they go and present in front of a judge.
Oh, fun.
And I also am bilingual, so I teach Spanish, and of course I teach art. So I have a ton of fun teaching, and I love my time in the classroom. I love my time with the students and just watching them grow and learn, and so that's awesome. So I kind of see myself on like this 5-year plan, or maybe 3 to 5 year plan, when my youngest will be kind of mostly through high school, and I can delve in a little bit more full time to art. So right now, I guess a couple of years ago, I'll say my art time was always like midnight to 4 a.m. kind of thing. And then I quickly learned that just doesn't work for me, because I couldn't function the next day. I would like lose a whole day in trying to rest. So right now I try to give myself time, even if it's like sneaking it during lunchtime, so that I can just let my brain rest and get some art time in the middle of my week. Or if it's, I'm going to do art for a couple hours in the morning and then start working on school stuff with the kids. But that's kind of so, and I also help run the school, so that just keeps me really busy. I've built a website for them, and talk with families about what they're doing with their education. And so anyways, that keeps me pretty busy. But my hope is that in a couple years, I'll be able to move full time into doing art. So
Yes, awesome. So what kind of art are you wanting to do? Are you wanting to do mostly like big murals for businesses, or what's your thing?
yeah, actually, in January when you did the challenge, the challenge that we did in January for 30 days, I'd never done anything like that before. And I am not a good finisher. I'm a good starter and not a finisher. And so like so many times I've tried challenges and I didn't finish it, but I made myself finish that one. I like committed to myself that I was going to do it and I loved it. What I found was that in those 30 days, what I learned is that I had to work small to complete something every day, right? And so over time, I learned I don't love working small. I really love working big.
Yeah,
I
same.
really enjoy, like teeny tiny, it stresses out my neck muscles. And so I just remember every time that I get out and I've got a whole big wall to paint, I just am filled with joy. I don't know how to explain it. Like it just is a different feeling. And so, yeah, for me, I really want to move into doing big murals. And so I've volunteered my time in several different places in the last year. And I just was telling my husband yesterday, I think I've built up like a decent resume that I could actually finally put a website together and go, okay, here's several different types of things that I've done. That's thanks to being in the Artist Academy and having had some of the experiences that we've had with you and even things that you've taught us, like show your face in your Instagram feed. Like I am not a selfie taker at all. I do not take selfies, but I've forced myself to, and I've had fun with it. And so I'm working on right now, literally I'm this month, with the calendar that you gave us in there and that challenge, I'm working on kind of updating my Instagram feed to be a little more current with the kind of the focus that I want to have in art, which is to do more murals. So I'm trying to focus on moving it into more mural focused, even in my Instagram feed, so that people can really see, what I do. So
Yeah. Awesome. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I'm so excited to hear that you have benefited from being in the group that much. It really it just calls like this. It just reminds me of why I started it and that it is working and to keep going on it. So that really inspires me to keep adding things and challenges and stuff. And I love that you loved the 30-day challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. And I started into the 100-day one, like I said. I wasn't able to get to the end of that one.
Yeah, me either, ever.
It's a good challenge.
I think next year we're going to take like a break between the 30-day and the 100-day. I think that's like a solid 2-week break because it's just, and because going from the 30-day to 100-day, I think it wears everybody out. And it's funny because I want to keep the momentum going for the year and everything, but I'm like, rest is important as well. So yeah, next year I think we're going to just do a break. But so I'm really glad that you liked the challenge. So we were thinking of doing a challenge coming up after we do the current 30-day challenge that we're in, and to do one that's it's called like a series 6 challenge, to where we do like 6 weeks, 6 paintings in 6 weeks, and they have to be in a series because
I love that.
Okay, good. Yeah, and it's not as intimidating as the 100-day challenge, and it's like you can work big if you want to,
Right. Right. That's awesome. I think that will be really helpful. Just in being part of the Artist Academy has helped me figure out how to focus myself. Right. And so just participating in that will help me to focus into something. And so that's huge. I think that's going to be super.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
looking forward to that one.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you have any other suggestions of things that we should do? Anything you want from me? Any other any topic that maybe we've breezed over that you want more information on, or any kind of new topic thing? Like for instance, I just was on the call and we were talking about doing like a street art thing, to where we all do the street art movement kind of together, and then it we have our big grand finale up in Iowa when we all meet up if we can. So
that's a great idea. I love that idea. That'd be super fun.
Okay, awesome.
For me, I really I've been trying this year to learn how to do portraits.
Oh.
So I'll just find YouTube videos or whatever I can, or find people online, that I can follow. And so I've been working on that, but I would definitely love some more good instruction on portraits.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, not for me because I don't know how to do all the, but I actually, it's funny because, yeah, I was just speaking on this like trading membership for tutorials. My good friend Emily Million, she's really good at portraits, and she's like, I want in the Artist Academy. I'm like, fine, you can come in, but you have to contribute. And like, what if you teach something? And she's like, okay, I'll teach something. And she said she would teach portraits. I'm like, perfect. So it's like you just said that too. I'm like, I'm not going to teach you because I don't know that, but Emily is great at it and she will teach you.
That's awesome. That'll be so fun.
Yeah.
That'll be great. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for starting off your Monday with me.
Yeah, it's the best day to start my Monday.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Great. Well, I will talk to you later.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time six-figure art business. With weekly trainings that include step-by-step proven art business techniques, plus painting tutorials from yours truly and other guest artists who are masters in their field, you will be well equipped to learn and grow into the highly skilled and highly profitable artist you know you're meant to be. I've figured out what it takes to build my own six-figure art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. It's not hard, but it does require your time and dedication. So, if you're up for the challenge, go to advancedmember.com. That's advancedmember.com to learn more. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. If you review our podcast and send a screenshot of that review to me on Instagram, I am at Art by Andrea Earhart. I will then promote your art on my story and tag you as a little thank you for helping me grow this podcast and our Artist Academy community. I have a reach of over 50,000 on Instagram, so this is a little help me to help you incentive. Also, if you ever want your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop on over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy to check out the schedule every Tuesday to catch us on live. I'll see you next week.